That's an amazing song. Oh, that's it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me today. That's an amazing song there by Jamatsu Nyazi. For those who know, Jamatsu Nyazi is a great friend of mine, all the way from the Navajo Nation. One of the greatest rappers to ever walk on the Diné land. And as always, man, it's great to see you guys. It's December 18th, exactly 1 week to Christmas, fellas. This is it's very interesting that this year Christmas is gonna be on Monday. And as always, I don't know. I feel like this year has gone on pretty fast, in my opinion. But maybe it's just me. Yeah, anyway, it's eight. It's actually 10:35 here in Kansas City, in Kansas. Sorry. As always, it's always nice to see you. I don't know where y'all are watching from, but right now there's a lot of Christmas lights. I mean, there's a whole mood for Christmas. There's Christmas lights and there's all kinds of Christmas carols playing. When you pass by, you just hear "We wish you a Merry Christmas." When you pass another street, it's like "I wanna wish you a Merry." Could I go here, Santa baby? It's very nice. I mean, the mood is just I don't know. It's just amazing, bro. I just hope Christmas never ends. I wish we lived in a perfect world where it was always Christmas, but it's that's not the case, Betty. It's all right, So before we go any further, let's go ahead and do some shout outs, bro. Let's shout out to all the great people who keep this channel great, bro. In the last video, we had 28 likes. And I just wanna, I'm gonna do it fast. I'm sorry, like, cause it's just too many people, and I don't wanna keep this live for too long. But anyway, let's go ahead and shout out to a few people. Anthony Kipruto, Anthony Ruto, shout out man, Anjep Kurui, Humphrey Kisibo. We used to go to that with Humphrey to the same school in Northern Kishu Primary School. Thank you very much, Humphrey. Yano Thiago, thank you very much. Lynette Terich. Godwill Kiplagat. I see you, my brother. I see you. Chirchir Meshak. Where you from, Chirchir Meshak? But anyway, nice to see you. Jamat Sonyazi, man. That's the guy who just plays the music. Thank you for making amazing music, Mr. Jamatson. And Rotich Tony. Rotich, man. Anto. How's it going, man? Anto is a great friend of mine. Onesimus Kimboy, obviously. Hey, Onesimus. How's you doing, man? Mr. Kimboy. Gloria Chelimo, the wonderful Gloria Chelimo, Kasim Mohammed, Dorcas Kakasa, Sabit Maswai Felix, Lynn, the wonderful, wonderful Lynn, man. Lynn, how you doing? And Naomi Marus and Nick Mukoma, great friend of mine. I hope you're doing great, my brother. Diego Hillary, anyway, I was saying Wengi Bana. I never thought it'd be this many people. But anyway, I'm very grateful for every one of you. Verakim, Director JB. And Director is actually a director, bro. I see you the profile picture there. He actually has a camera. A lot of people actually claim on their profile that they are certain it's not right to find somebody who calls himself on Facebook Doctor somebody, but in real life, this guy's not even a doctor. He probably didn't even make it to past high school. Anyway, but let's Director JB. Nice to see you, man. Max respect. Tyrone, watching all the way from Tsaili, Arizona, man. Tyrone, the great Marine. Mutahi Memoy, how you doing? Mose, my village mate, man. Moses Arab Laban. It's always nice to see you, my friend. And Joshua Tai. Not to forget Benal Kipchumba, Kennedy Odero. Kennedy Odero was the guy who on my previous video actually alinikemea. He said that people huku majui, people in diaspora mbona mnaongea Kiingereza mingi. But nice to see you, my brother. And last but not least, they know KE. They know. They know, man. They know. I was capturing a route. Anyway, that kind of wraps it up for our shoutouts. Let's get on to for today's video. And anyway, I remember a long time ago, when I was in Kapsabit, my school teacher used to be a great man by the name of Mr. Busolo. And, one time when we were in high school and, when we used to have geography class, he used to say something in the realm of, boys. He used to have a very deep voice. So he'd be like, boys, stop chasing all these young girls from Kapsabit girls. Yeah, please go on to high school, go on to university. and do your medicine course, do your engineering course, and the girls will come after you. Okay, this is a very bad replication of what he said. But anyway, the surprising thing is that, recently I looked at the profile. One of my good great friends from Kapsabit High School has just graduated with a medical degree, ban. But jamaa anamutu bana. So Mr. Busolo, what happened bana? This guy, people are getting their medical degrees, but there are no girls from Kapsabit or girls from Merkel or wherever. So I found that to be funny. But anyway, shout out to everybody who's graduated. Mano also I'm a graduate. Very so yeah. Shout out to everybody, especially Nick. Uh, there's a guy called Nick. We used to be with him in Strobak. The guy is an engineer now. And Samingaruya, Samingaruya, we used to be in the same dorm, and we used to be in Kapsabit together. And Kapsabit produces great man. And that guy has just graduated with a medical degree. That's not the person who I was mentioning. So don't go ahead and attack me here. But anyway, shout out to everyone who's graduated. If you've actually graduated and you need a shout out to, be sure to hit me up. I'll give you a very free shout out to everyone who's watching me right now. And anyway, today I actually have some very interesting news, man. I went ahead and compiled an interesting a couple of news that have been trending this today and yesterday. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. And obviously, we start with a very somber mood. Okay, there's this report, there's this video that has been trending on social media, especially on X, formerly known as Twitter, of this Tanzanian man. There's a Tanzanian man by the name of Joshua Molei who was murdered by Hamas in Syria. What? No, this is Syria, in Israel. And apparently, this video has been around since it happened in October 7th. Obviously, I can't play the video here. Uh, I don't know if I could, but yeah, basically what I'm looking at, if you want the description of what the video is, this guy was apparently riding a bicycle. From what I'm able to see, he was riding a bicycle and he got pulled over by a couple of what appears to be a Hamas fellows, and they proceed to stab him several times in his chest. And obviously, the guy lays down on the ground. Apparently, he seems deceased. I'm not sure if at that point he's deceased, but you can tell, there's stabbing wounds on his chest. And, obviously, the stabbing was, Sile stabbing was Kenyantini shallow. The guy who was stabbing him with a very sharp and a very long butcher knife. One of them butcher knives that are very long, that are about this long, actually this long. Looks more like a dagger. And as that guy is laying down on the ground, another one comes up with an AK rifle and he shoots him dead. He shoots him, I mean, at point blank. I mean, the guy's pretty much dead. He's laying on the ground, but they would just proceed to shoot him. I mean, obviously, this was very disgusting, and I mean, it just angered me because when people, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how exactly this guy could have been connected with Israel or whatever's going on in the Middle East. I mean, this guy was from Tanzania. I mean, I don't think Tanzanians have any special interest in what's going on in Palestine or Israel. So yeah, I saw that video. That video was very angering. And the man, like I said, the man's name is Josh Joshua Molei. Yeah, it's a very sad video. You all should check it out. I mean, obviously, there's content. I mean, it's very graphical content, so you should be really careful if you don't want to see. It's very graphical, basically. But anyway, to other news, and this was a very interesting news, right? Uh, Apparently, a 110-year-old man has murdered an hundred his wife. His wife is 109 years old, and I mean, this is a very interesting piece of topic. It's a very interesting. Hold on, let me remove my watch here because it keeps sending me notifications. But anyway, it's one of those stories that are borderline between funny and very sad, right? Because on one hand, I don't know. I mean, a person getting married, it doesn't matter how old they are. They could be 110. They could be one is like 150 or 160. A person being murdered is, it's still a loss of life. But then again, people were finding this funny because the reason why the husband murdered his wife, and I pretty much think they've been married for 80 years at least, because Africans get married very young. And if these guys were born 110 years ago, that was what 19. 1913, about 1913. I mean, back then, marriage happened very early. So these people have been married for at least 80, 90 years. And this man proceeded to stab his wife with a machete. Apparently, the guy's name is Dominic Babiha, and he married his wife Constancio Bacasica. Obviously, I don't know why this happened, but it sounds like it says the district of Ntungamo. It appears to be in Uganda, but yeah, that's a very sad thing to happen there. I don't know, man. It's very. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I already mentioned it, but the reason why the husband said he stabbed the wife is because the wife denied him conjugal rights. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good enough reason to murder your wife, who you've been with for that long. And apparently the guy's in prison now. And I don't know what kind of prison sentence they'd be able to give this guy that would be sufficient because this guy's already 110 years old. He probably doesn't even have that long to live. But I hope he gets. It's that was very sad, but then again, very interesting. And on to lighter news. We've been talking about sad news, but now let's go on to interesting news. Apparently, let's get back to Kenya, man. And there's been a very interesting story here in Nairobi. Apparently, Embakasi, Nairobi, Shamim. There's a lady named Shamim. She's a Kenyan lady. She happens to be a wonderful lady. I don't know if this is actually her picture, but Shamim has been shocked, very shocked. And the reason why she's very shocked is because she found out that her husband of 10 years was not a JKIA officer. That her husband didn't work at JKIA. No, no, no. Her husband, all this time they've been married, has actually been a garbage collector, right? I don't know. And for some reason, this story has trended on the internet. People are wondering. I mean, people are obviously it's kind of funny. I mean, but then again, when you think about it, this lady, it sounds like she's very ungrateful. Because on one hand, it doesn't matter if your husband is a what garbage collector, whether he's a pilot, whether he's a what man, provided he brings food to the table and provided he has he's there every day to take care of you, man. She should be grateful. I mean, if she's not, come on, anakaa nyumbani. Obviously, if this lady is complaining, she's probably a stay-at-home mom. I mean, if that guy has managed to, I don't know if Embakasi is a very good estate to live in, or whether it's like, I don't know. Miss Juang in Nairobi. For those who don't know, I'm not good with Nairobi. I don't know how Nairobi. I don't know my way around Nairobi. I mean, I've heard of all these estates in Nairobi, but I'm not familiar with them. But if this husband has been able to sustain their life, to provide for their children, because I assume if they've been married for 10 years, they probably have children. They probably, have a little family. If this guy's been able to provide for the children, send them to school, feed the wife, and wives also need some extra money here and there for like mapodo podo here for kitex or whatever or nails. I don't know what ladies do these days, but yeah, if this girl's been able to sustain her life like that, I mean, she should be grateful. Not outing her husband like that, man. Why would you humiliate your husband just because he works as a trash collector? And first of all, working as a trash collector and working at JKIA is not necessarily mutually exclusive. You can work at JKIA and still be a trash collector. I mean, and although, what's wrong with being a trash collector, man? Me personally, if they paid me good enough, if I was paid good enough money, I wouldn't mind being a trash collector. What the hell? Pay me $20 an hour, I'll collect all the trash in JKI by myself. So yeah, that was an interesting piece of news that I came across that people are reacting heavily on. So yeah, let's take a wait if you have any views. Oh man, there's no comments yet. But anyway, Neil, shout out to Robbie. I don't think I shout out to Robbie. Robbie, shout out to you, man. I hope you're watching all the way from El Paso, Texas. Robbie is a great friend of mine. Now on to the next video, to the next piece of to the next news. There's been a very interesting news going around. Apparently, that one over pasta. Oh, that's my Alexa. Alexa, what's up, man? Why are you turning on my? Never mind. But anyway, there's been interesting news of a pastor, an angry pastor who surrendered his wife when he found out his wife was actually cheating on him. Ah, okay, that news was very interesting. So apparently, this guy is a pastor. Let's call him Ian. I like Ian. Hey, Ian cannot be a name of a pastor. Let's call him a more pastoricious name. You know, there's a guy in Kapsabet High School called Panyako. Panyako was a pastor, but let's not use his Panyako. Let's use Vincent. Vincent is a pastor. Okay, he's somewhere in Western Kenya, either Kakamega or something. It's actually Kakamega. Now, when Vince, Vince as a pastor, you have to go to ceremonies most of the times, like weddings. But in this case, it wasn't a wedding; it was a funeral. This guy goes on to a funeral, and when the guy's up off to a funeral, when the guy Vincent is in a funeral, uh, you know, consoling the grieving and preaching and giving a sermon. Uh, Apparently, at the same time, his wife was busy in other doing other activities, extramarital activities with another man. And first of all, when this guy discovers, he goes ahead and apprehends this guy and manhandles him. But I guess after some time, this guy just thinks of it and he's like, you know what? You can't save somebody a cheater. Once a cheater, always a cheater. So the guy just decides to surrender his wife, and that's what caught up the headlines. His name, according to Harrison Olumbe, a pastor of African Divine Church (ADC) in Kakamega. I've never heard of that church. Is it a real church? He went to attend the funeral of one of his church members at night. What? What? Wait, are there funerals at night? I don't think that doesn't sound very right. And it's not. And apparently this happened in Navaholo constituency, and that guy received guys nimesema hapo that he received. And apparently when he was at this funeral at night, lakini hapana man, that thing doesn't sound right. Maybe that's why the wife cheated. Who goes to a funeral at night? I mean, I understand you're a pastor, but what kind of funeral happens at night? That doesn't sound right, man. Something there is very fishy. I don't know, but I'm not. Who am I to judge, right? But anyway, to some international news. Apparently today, Biden. Not today. That was yesterday. Biden's motorcade was actually rammed by somebody, an unknown person. I don't know. I haven't. I mean, the news is still pretty fresh, but that thing always kind of has me. There's some things here in America, man. It scares the living hell out of me. Okay, and that's instability, man. Whenever there's political instability in America, it's always something of great concern, because at any time, stuff could go down. Things could change like this. So when I heard of that guy who had intercepted Biden's motorcade, hey bro, you really needs to, man, because Americans presidents unfortunately have been, some American presidents have been unfortunate to be assassinated. And the last one was what, in 1960, was it 63, when this guy was, what was his name? John Kennedy. But before that, there was McKinley, and before that was Abraham Lincoln, and there's another guy in between, I forgot. But the thing is, when stuff like that happens, the whole world will change, man. Things always change for the rest of the world. So I'm always afraid of stuff like that happening, because if something happens to Biden, bro, they could invade a country or something. I don't know. I don't want that, because if they not like someone say maybe that guy is from I don't know Iran or whatever. When that guy attacks from Iran, and maybe this thing blows up, and they're like, oh, Iran actually sent an assassin to kill the U.S. president. Now we are going to send American troops to Iran. Bro, the whole world will change, man. You never know how that might lead, especially in today's world, where like there's nuclear weapons and there's all kinds of stuff. Before you know it, and personally, I will be affected personally, because you know why? Every man above the age of 18, and this is something most people don't know. Everyone above the age of 18 is every man above the age of 18, and especially between the age of 18 and is it 26, is required to sign to a draft. And a draft is basically when you a call of arms. Basically, when there's a war and the government doesn't have enough soldiers, it just calls out to every young man. by law. You're required by law to go to war. So right now, if they say we are invading Iran, and maybe Iran becomes very difficult to invade, like just like Vietnam. For those who don't know, the U.S. went to war in Vietnam in the 1950s, and this war lasted for several years, and they had to draft a lot of people, and that's why currently in America there's a lot of war veterans because most of this they didn't go to war because they wanted to, but because they were young at that period and they were just required by law to go to war. And I don't want that, bro. Mr. David, I don't want to go fight Iran or whatever. I don't know. I'm not cut out for that. But anyway, that kind of wraps it up, man. But before I leave, let me see. It's been really, this has been a very nice episode, bro. I've never. This is the first time I'm actually streaming this. What do you call it? This is the first time, the second time I'm actually streaming it for everybody. So before that, I used to stream to only my friends. But currently, first of all, check this out. When I do this, that's pretty cool, huh? But currently, I'm actually streaming it to everybody in and off of Facebook, so everybody can watch and enjoy it. But yeah, I don't have more than that, man. It's been really nice. It's been a really nice episode. I look forward to tomorrow. It's actually my fifth episode. Uh, and that calls for celebration, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Celebration for the fifth episode. That's right. And obviously, much love to everybody who's watched me. Check this out. I'm gonna do this. Much love to everybody who has watched me, everybody who likes these episodes. Give me any feedback you want, so I can adjust. Because I'm really trying to find uh, like so you figure out how this videos I'm still trying to figure out how to do this live videos. I'm still learning from my mistakes and learning from my past videos, learning from the reactions people have and whatever. So yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up for today's video. Thank you very much for joining me. Whoever joined me, whoever likes, whoever shares, comments, everything. Till next time, fellas. Peace.